of Corrections. With 149 mentally challenged inmates and the recently passed Mental Health Act, the training helps officers recognize signs of mental illnesses. Those were some of the stories that made newspaper headlines. And before we go, let's take a look on the lighter side. A woman had to be rescued from an outhouse toilet in northern Michigan after climbing in to retrieve her Apple Watch and becoming trapped. The woman, whose name was not released, lowered herself inside the toilet after dropping the watch at the Department of Natural Resources boat launch in Dixon Lake in Otsego County, Bagley Township. First responders were called in when the woman was heard yelling for help. The toilet was removed and a strap was used to haul the woman out. And that's where we end Caribbean Week in Review. Join us again next week when we recap the stories making headlines across the region. I'm Renee Sion.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, controversy engulfing the Bahamas Public Service Union elections as We Care and Power teams contest unofficial results. Plus, a dengue outbreak grips the Bahamas. 156 cases reported across islands. Health officials outline prevention measures. And in his final interview, the late Honorable Obie Wilchcombe shares his wishes for the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, the Bahamas Public Service Union elections held this past Tuesday has been met with some controversy. The We Care team and Power team are now contesting the unofficial results. Both team presidential candidates alleging numerous irregularities in the electoral process. Our Aja Kwan has the details and joins us live now in studio. Aja, what is the atmosphere looking like?
Things are definitely heating up, Ramiko. According to Alexander Burrows, presidential candidate for the Power team, the official results have not been released as yet. However, based on their own tally of data from various polling stations across the country, the Workers team has secured the most votes, followed by the Power team and the We Care team in third. But Ramiko, that isn't all. Both John Pinder and Alexander Burrows maintained that there were extensive irregularities in the electoral process, forcing them to now contest those unofficial results.
There's 7 infractions that impeded hundreds of voters in this election.
The presidential candidate stepping forward to raise concerns about the fairness and integrity of the elections. Among the irregularities reported includes the logistical issues with the polling divisions that may have affected the voting process.
The polls were supposed to have opened at 9 a.m. In some cases, the polls didn't open until 11. Namely, one of the polls in particular at the airport in Nassau, LVIA, that particular poll didn't open until 11 o'clock. There was a poll that should have been conducted in Inagua. That poll did not open at all. So the members in Inagua were unable to participate in this year's elections.
And they claim that polling divisions were added on the day of the election.
For example, the Lucians both have 2 polling stations, then have 4. Then there were 4 ministries left off the voting list at the Kennedy Eliza Gymnasium, including University of the Bahamas.
But it was the different thumbs used for ink dipping instead of the specified right thumb that sparked their concerns, which they believe could have led to inaccuracies in verifying voter identity.
There were persons who would have voted with their left thumb
and there's indication that may have gone over someplace by the right top.
Both teams have now jointly challenged the electoral process and are now demanding a thorough investigation into these alleged irregularities.
The elections have not been certified up by USONO official letters in spite of the Wilchcombe team headed by the incumbent issuing statements that they won the election. There's no official results.
Mr. Delaney, Mr. Van Delaney, who was serving as registrar, will be in receipt of a protest by the end of the day.
Now, of course, Ramiko, the country is eagerly awaiting the results of this election. However, again, the team's presidents say the official results will not be released until an investigation into all of these allegations are completed. Live in studio reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant. Back to you at the desk, Ramiko.
Thanks so much, Azure. While the Bahamas is seeing a dengue outbreak as of the 28th of September, the country is currently sitting at 156 dengue fever cases. New Providence recording 124 persons infected, 39 in Grand Bahama, 1 in Eleuthera, and 1 in the Berry Islands. Clinical Director of Community Health Services at the Grand Bahama Health Services, Dr. Stacey Bevins-Lang, sharing prevention strategies for the infection and what must be done to mitigate the spread. Yolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
39 cases of dengue fever currently in Grand Bahama. Clinical Director Dr. Stacey Bevins-Lang stating that the viral infection can range from mild to deadly.
Some of the symptoms that usually present would include a sudden onset of high fever. They also may have a rash, nausea, vomiting. We may also have generalized body ache, joint pain, muscle pain, headaches, mainly behind the eye. Some persons explain it or describe it as being very excruciating. Now, in severe cases, the persons can have what we call hemorrhagic dengue, and that's where you have internal bleeding. And this can also lead to hospitalization and, unfortunately, death. It can affect anyone from child to elderly.
When asked on what could be the cause for the year's outbreak, Bevins-Lang expressing that this year's climate change seems to be different and unfortunately, there seems to be an uptick in mosquitoes.
In this year, we are having frequent rains. We also have extended heat. We're experiencing an increase in the amount of mosquitoes that we're seeing, and it's partly due to the settling of water in various areas.
She's calling on residents to clear swampy areas within their circumference and remove old tires and derelict vehicles from their yards.
In the evenings, make sure you have your screens placed up, your doors closed, windows closed as needed. If necessary, when you have to go outside, you make sure mosquitoes are attracted to dark color clothes. So if you can, wear light color clothes, long sleeve, long pants, socks. Try and cover up as much as possible.
The clinical director is urging the public to keep a watchful eye on the dengue alert notifications, and if they are seeing 2 or more symptoms, she is asking them to come and visit the hospital. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Yolanda Thompson-Everest.
Now in other news, this month is recognized as Suicide Prevention Month. However, concerns mount as there have been 3 suicide attempts on different islands within a span of just 3 days, according to police reports. The incidents involved 2 females, one from Grand Bahama and the other from Abaco, along with a male from New Providence. Tonight, a clinical consultant sheds light on crucial warning signs.
It's not until the person is dead that we realize that, oh, he or she actually left some warning signs.
Authorities are grappling with the aftermath of 3 recent suicide attempts, prompting a closer examination of the mental health landscape in the Bahamas. The most recent incident occurring on Grand Bahama Wednesday morning. Police report that a 47-year-old female at her residence attempted to take her life by ingesting a quantity of over-the-counter medication. Clinical consultant Dr. Andy Lang shares on the importance of recognizing warning signs, citing withdrawal as one of the first indicators.
Another warning sign is changes in eating and sleeping patterns. So someone might begin oversleeping or might begin undersleeping. The person might begin overeating or undereating, okay? So certainly noticeable changes in a person's appetite should raise a red flag.
Additionally, Dr. Lang points to key indicators such as drug and alcohol use, joking about taking one's life, and difficulty concentrating as crucial signals of mental distress.
Violent actions, rebellious behavior, if it's a child or an adolescent, running away. Okay, personality changes. So someone who might have been an extrovert becomes more introverted, more withdrawn and reclusive.
Equipping communities with essential steps to support individuals who may be contemplating suicide, Dr. Lang underscores the critical importance of direct communication, starting with the first step, asking the person about their well-being.
The other thing you want to do is you want to be there with them. And then you want to help them connect with the help that they need.
Switching gears now, mixed views are rising among residents regarding the licensing of handguns for law-abiding citizens in the country. This comes after the National Security Minister asserted he sees no reason why individuals who undergo thorough vetting, demonstrate good character, and prove their ability to handle firearms safely should not be granted approval. Our Raven Davis spoke to residents and has their reaction in this report.
With less than 1% of private citizens currently holding licenses for handguns in country, a national conversation has emerged about whether law-abiding citizens should be able to legally own these types of firearms. We spoke to residents today who give their perspective on this matter.
National Security Minister Wayne Munro highlighting that the majority of these license holders are either current or former law enforcement officers.
Concealed weapons, yeah, definitely. I mean, our neighbors right over to Florida, it is open carry state, as they would say. You can actually have concealed weapons. Now, the vetting process has to be on point.
The robbers, they have access to these things, so the homeowner should have a legal right to own, have access to their handguns, and have a concealment license as well if they own a business or if they are dealing with large amounts of cash.
The same thing as it relates to shotgun should be the same thing, with a little bit more stringent, because a shotgun, you know, is a long weapon. A handgun is more shorter. So with more stringent measures, I see no problem why behemoths, once you qualify, like keep it in the safe.
But as far as having it in your home, just your home for, you know, for safety, I think that's the case. But actually carrying around, because no, we're not ready for that as yet.
And while shotguns and rifles are the firearms for which licenses are most likely to be granted, Munro says he doesn't see why a license for a handgun shouldn't be approved if a law-abiding citizen is thoroughly vetted. Still, some residents outrightly reject the idea.
When you do have a handgun, you can be a good abiding citizen, but the mind is a thin line between insanity and sanity. So you could just switch at any minute and say, man, I got his gun, let me kill you, and then you end up killing somebody. But I think prayer is more important to have in homes.
I do not believe in guns, and violence begets violence.
The vetting exercise expected to be more stringent than the vetting process for a shotgun or rifle, and will reportedly entail checking a person's criminal history, police interactions, and several interviews. Moving forward, Munro says the goal is to also implement safety classes, which had never before been required.
Like any weapon, you know, even a knife, you know, there's a proper way to wield a knife. There's a proper measurement. And also, too, you know, it's not just safety for the public, but safety for yourself.
Well, as of last July, Florida residents can legally carry a firearm without a permit, though a laundry list of exceptions and rules apply. Residents on island, however, continue to hold diverse opinions on this matter. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
And when we come back, in his final interview, the late minister responsible for broadcasting and iconic journalist shared his wish for broadcast media. That story and more, including sports. From the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition returns.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Grand Bahamas National Youth Month opening service under the theme Youth Excellence is the Standard. October 1st, 3 p.m. at Calvary Temple.
We are one of the largest IT business services firms in the world, headquartered in India, with over 520,000 people out on assignment today. We have access to over 3,000 customers that are in desperate need for skilled IT talent, not just here globally, but even as the Bahamas goes through its own transformation, these are going to be incredibly useful skills to help grow the country, to help make Grand Bahama a better place.
It allows us to deal with a challenge that we have in terms of unemployment, to train Bahamians in this tech space, which has great demand around the world, to solve a brain drain issue in that there are many Bahamians in this space that are living abroad, and we would love for them to come back to Grand Bahama.
The Hawksbill High Reunion Class of 82 celebrates with a cocktail reception Friday, October 6th and a fun day in Pelican Point Saturday, October 7th. For tickets, call 359-7504 or 533-2063. Don't miss out on the amazing 20% off discount going on now until September 30th at Mo Divas, Caravel Beach, and Mo Hustle in the Tropical Commercial Center, West Mall Drive.
With pink bundles starting at $100, get everything required to get the job done right. Visit us today at the Do It Center, number 33 Industrial Park, Airport Road. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
This program is very different from other training programs that anyone would have heard of, because this program is a part of a comprehensive and strategic ecosystem in building a tech sector. So when you think about what this program offers, it's the upskilling and the educational part of really getting the workforce available for a larger tech sector. This is not just another training program where you end with a certificate, but you get trained, you get upskilled, and you get placed in a solution or in a situation that's actually ideal for you from a professional standpoint.
With this Tech Edge program, we're now training and upskilling the local labor force. And so what that can do is improve our value proposition, make us even look more attractive to those tech and innovation companies that are looking for nearshoring opportunities. So that is how we're going to have the edge in terms of attracting new companies to Freeport in the tech and innovation space.
Don't miss the 25% end-of-season sale at Park & Shop this September 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, excluding underwear and red tag items. Tech Edge brings you master classes available in cybersecurity, Azure cloud computing, and Android mobile app development. Space is limited. Apply by September 30th. For registration details and eligibility, visit www.techedgebahamas.com. Covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. In a recent cabinet shuffle, the late Honorable Obie Wilchcombe was entrusted with the portfolio of broadcasting and information. Having previously served as an employee of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, Wilchcombe expressed profound excitement about the opportunity to spearhead transformative changes and elevate the BCB to unprecedented heights. On the eve of his untimely passing, he shared insights on the promising future he foresaw for the broadcasting landscape.
I think we ought to recommit ourselves to excellence.
The portfolio of information and broadcasting was received with anticipation and was viewed by the late parliamentarian as an avenue to instigate profound change and steer the BCB towards unparalleled achievements within the television and radio broadcasting arena.
That we must have television beginning with morning TV and going throughout the day. That we have to cause for proliferation of culture. We have to find a way to get playwrights to write sitcoms and movies and do productions to get on ZNS. We have to find a way to help them to do so. We have to ensure that our radio sound is of the highest quality. We must go after the voices and to find the personalities who will cause the personification of our country as a country that has values to be seen and heard.
The late MP envisions a broadcasting entity that not only disseminates information, but also serves as a catalyst for societal progress. Wilchcombe spoke fervently about fostering inclusivity and ensuring diverse voices found resonance within the media landscape.
We must cause for programs to deal with the critical issues, whether it's carbon credits, or whether it's climate change, whether it's women affairs. They have to be on the air. We have to cause people to understand our general mandate to inform, educate, and entertain. That's in the Act, and we must define that in the new Bahamas of the 21st century.
Regarding employees of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, the Honorable Obie Wilchcombe emphasized the need for a fair and competitive remuneration structure that would reflect the valuable contributions.
I believe that people like you guys who are called on to do so much, we can't pay you overtime. We can't pay you for the hours you have to put in. We can't pay you for the research that you must do to be on top of your game. We can't pay you for staying on top of technology and everything else. So I'm going to cause for a revamp of the whole thing. That is why you have to have product. If you have nothing to sell, you have no product in which to make any money. So we're going to lift the product because your revenue stream is just too small.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas will relaunch the ZNS network in the coming weeks. Sadly, it will now be done without the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, the Honorable Obie Wilchcombe, who became a career journalist of the BCB in 1975. During his 25 years of service, he held the position of Deputy Director of News, News Director, and Assistant General Manager. Well, memories continue to flow as many continue to grapple with the loss of our beloved colleague and friend, the late Natalie Martinborough. We spoke with former president of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Arnold Pinder, who remembers the former AGM of News, Radio, and Programming for her strong, kind, and caring presence. Shane Stubbs has that report.
There was none like her.
That's Arnold Pinder, former president of the GB Christian Council and close friend to former AGM here at the Northern Service, the late Natalie Martinborough. She and Pinder held a close bond over the years and shares on how much Nats meant to him.
I would share the scriptures from Exodus 15:26 to 1 Peter 2:24. And I would say, Natalie, you can't leave us. Even at her lowest, she would encourage me. Because sometimes I could feel in my spirit that this is a strange fight. And she fought, and she fought, and she fought.
When he heard of Martinborough's ordeal, he continuously uplifted her through scripture and prayer as she was in and out of hospital. He recalls one day receiving a message from one of her family members letting him know that she was not well at that moment, to which he advised them.
I WhatsApped the person and I said, do me a favor. Even if she can't hear you, get your Bible and read Psalm 118, verse 17 through 18 over her head, which says, I shall live and not die, and declare the words of the Lord.
As her prayer partner, he was happy to see her bounce back and return to work briefly. Walking hand in hand with her, he recalls how grateful she was for his support.
She said to me, Bishop Pinder, I thank you so much for being there for me every day. God bless you, and I thank you. Tears started to roll down her eyes, and really, in my soul and her belief, never thought that she would die.
There truly was none like the late, great Natalie Martinborough. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
And there certainly will never be another one. Your Friday evening check on sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. We have a whole lot of sports for you. High school volleyball, WNBA updates. But let's begin sports as we remember the life of Obie Wilchcombe. The Honorable Obie Wilchcombe had a major presence in West End when it came to sports. One of the founders of the West End Kong Pearls softball team, Miss Carolyn Vanjie Ferguson, had a unique relationship with Obie through sports.
When we got the group together, Nice Hall and myself, God rest her soul, Obie was not into softball per se, but as the years went by and Obie was a senator and then he became a member of Parliament, Obie was very, very instrumental in the growth and development of softball in West End, and I think Grand Bahama on the whole.
Angie adds that Obie had a lot to do with the acquisition of the West End Cocoa Plum softball field.
That's when we got the Cocoa Plum field off the ground with the help of the GIN, and it was done in style, like I'd say. Mr. Wilchcombe do not half step. He's a man of distinction, quality, and everything that you could think of. He fit many shoes, he wore many hats. A great person, a loving person, and I said before, I don't think people really understood the Obadiah Wilchcombe.
Switching gears now in sports, Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty will be in action again tonight in Game 3 of the WNBA semifinals against the Connecticut Sun. In Game 2, Jonquel finished with an 11-point, 13-rebound double-double in an 84-77 win at home to tie that series. The winner of the best-of-5 series will earn a berth to the WNBA Finals. And finally in sports, scores from the Oriole Nose Rosina Nesbitt High School Volleyball League. Mary Star defeated Sister Mary Patricia Russell in 2 sets in junior girls play. LIS got the win against Sunline in 2 sets as well, 17-8 and 17-4. Now in senior girls play, BMES got the W versus LIS 21-7, 22-20 in 2 sets. And Mary Star of the Sea defeated Sunline Stingers 21-16 and 21-14 in 2 sets. Ladies and gents, that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Doctors Hospital's reimagined primary care. We've invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations in Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Fluid Factory presents Rick Ross live in concert Saturday, December 23rd at Gombe Park, Freeport. Early bird tickets, general $35, VIP $50, and platinum $85. Fluid Factory Skybox $150. See you there.
Partnering with the Grand Bahama Port Authority and Quest directly aligns with our commitment to ensure that our students are qualified in the area of IT, computer information systems, and entrepreneurship as Grand Bahama transitions into a tech hub.
The first cohort of the Tech Edge program will consist of 50 candidates. The program will run for 8 to 12 weeks, and it will consist of 3 tracks: cybersecurity, cloud computing, and mobile app development. The program is hybrid. Most of the courses will take place online, and there will be 1 session per week at the Susan J. Wallace Community Center. Applications are open to all Bahamians with a high school diploma over the age of 18. Though a technical degree, certification, or background may help with your application, we encourage all Bahamians with the aptitude and attitude to apply for the program.
This is a public safety announcement from the Grand Bahama Power Company. Customers are reminded to ensure that a transfer switch is installed when a backup energy source, such as a generator, is being used. When a storm strikes and knocks out power to your home, you may be forced to use a backup energy source, such as solar panels or a generator. Do you know about the potential danger or how to safely use backup energy sources? There's one major risk that you should be aware of. It's called backfeed, and it can endanger you, a family member, or someone else, especially a lineman or electrician working near your property. What is backfeed? Backfeed occurs when power travels from your solar setup or generator back through the utility line, resulting in them being unknowingly re-energized. Backfeed creates a very dangerous and potentially deadly situation for line workers and the general public. If your solar system or generator isn't properly installed, the backfeed of electric current could severely injure or kill a lineman working to restore power. The best way to avoid backfeed is by installing a transfer switch. Transfer switch ensures your household isn't connected to the power grid and the backup energy source at the same time. To prevent backfeed, generators, whether permanent or portable, should never be plugged into a home's wiring or directly to the circuit breaker panel. Be sure to have a qualified, licensed electrician install your backup energy source and a transfer switch, thereby eliminating backfeed. Preventing backfeed could save a life.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Tonight, we extend birthday greetings to our beloved Pastor Darren Roll, who celebrates a birthday today. Thank you so much for watching, and we appreciate your continued support and continue to enjoy your birthday. I also want to give special recognition out to my two little angels, Kellel and Kaylee, for doing so well in school. You guys keep up the great work. The sky is the limit. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the national report, financial experts informed on latest trends. Opening of Parliament preparations begin. It's World Heart Day. And in sports, championship action tonight. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. Thanks so much for tuning in. A crime investigation here in the Bahamas has found itself in the halls of the United States Congress. Earlier this year, an American teen went missing after reportedly jumping overboard a pleasure craft on Paradise Island. Our Altaviz Munnings joins us live in studio with the details. Good evening, Altaviz.
Good evening, LaDawn, and good evening, Bahamas. It was back on May 24th when an intense search for 18-year-old Cameron Robbins began in the Athol and Paradise Island areas the moment officials learned that he jumped off a pleasure craft off Paradise Island. Now, still, he has not been seen. Our news team received reports that Robbins was here in the Bahamas with his friends to celebrate his high school graduation from University Laboratory School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, Robbins is the constituent of the congressman for the 6th District of Louisiana. His name is Garrett Graves. The U.S. legislator used the opportunity in Congress yesterday during the budget impasse to stop a U.S. government shutdown this weekend to voice his concerns about the investigation. Here's what he said.
The Bahamian government, they're our friends. They're allies. We're obviously very close. We're close economic relationships. The police in the Bahamas conducted a very extensive investigation. They interviewed students who were nearby to find out what happened. They interviewed the captain of the vessel, interviewed everyone who was involved. And we've simply asked, and Mr. Chairman, you can imagine the family at this point. Simply ask, could you please just share your investigation report? That's it. Just share the investigation report. The family just wants to learn as much as they can about this tragedy. And I'm going to say it again, Mr. Chairman. Cameron's body was never recovered.
Totally unresponsive is how Congressman Graves described the Royal Bahamas Police Force, noting that they haven't reportedly provided any answers to his office or even the United States State Department. He even placed on the Congress record a letter to Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis.
I do have an amendment that would restrict funds for the Bahamian government contingent upon their cooperation or simply sharing information. In discussing this with the chairman and the ranking member, we're not going to offer that amendment right now, but I just want to ask the chairman and I'd like to ask the ranking member if you all would please work with us on this. I'll say it again: Bahamian government are friends, they're our allies, but this is a tragic situation. I just ask you to put yourself in the place of the parents, and Mr. Chairman, just ask if you'd work with us on this, is try and help us get the information that the family's looking for.
Well, I received a response from Royal Bahamas Police Force Press Liaison Chief Superintendent Christlyn Skippings, who confirmed that the Royal Bahamas Police Force thoroughly investigated this incident. She contends that shortly after this incident, an updated report outlining its exact details was forwarded to the United States Embassy here in Nassau. She says that report was then sent to the United States State Department in Washington, D.C., and officials there then met with Robinson's family, who accepted the report. Chief Superintendent Skippings maintains the Royal Bahamas Police Force conducted all of their due diligence in the matter, and she also pointed out that officially the American teen is still missing. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings. Back to you, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Alto. Well, the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services hosting a seminar for industry stakeholders today to keep them informed on the latest trends. Here's Fern Carey.
Members of the financial services industry are working aggressively to remain on the cutting edge of the second largest industry in the Bahamas, with representatives from various financial institutions attending a seminar at Super Club Breeze this Friday to learn more about environmental social governance, or ESG, financing. Bahamas advisory leader from PricewaterhouseCoopers, Kevin Cambridge, says it is a topic that's trending in the global financial services arena.
It really transcends and pivots from corporate and social responsibility into a more holistic framework, allowing companies to be more accountable in their reporting. So we're transcending more from a financial services or financial reporting now to more ESG reporting, and you'll see that as regulators locally and globally take shape and sort of focus on this area.
The government is looking at many opportunities in ESG financing, including the advancement of the carbon credit regime and blue bonds.
On environmental bond opportunities, with the advancement of our carbon credit regime and the prospects of carbon credits from our oceans, and particularly our seagrass beds throughout our archipelago, we believe that environmental ESG sovereign financing is a significant opportunity in this regards for the Bahamas.
The Attorney General also believes ESG financing will increase the attractiveness of the Bahamas as an investment destination.
We are looking at opportunities for other types of ESG bonds. So what are these additional opportunities? We believe there are opportunities for social ESG bond financing programs in the Bahamas.
It is also anticipated that ESG financing will redefine debt portfolios and expenditure in the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Cabinet has approved a $30 million capitalization exercise for the Bahamas Development Bank that will be funded by the Africa Export-Import Bank. BDB Chairman Senator the Honorable Quinton Lightbourne making the announcement at the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing this morning.
The funding we received today is a significant step towards bringing our economic prosperity through inclusion and touching the lives of every Bahamian. The facility is open to all Bahamians operating businesses or projects in the sectors in which the bank operates. The standard interest rate between 6.75% to 8% will remain. We are not just receiving capital, we are receiving an opportunity to transform our nation's economic landscape and create a brighter future for all. Today, we will build the Bahamas that is prosperous, sustainable, and inclusive.
It's been a month since a rate adjustment was activated by the Bahamas Power and Light for a number of customers. While some have seen a decrease, others are still grappling with the complexities of reducing electricity consumption, all while addressing external factors. Lloyd Allen has his update.
Power couple James and Esther Miller have been in business together for the past 18 years, and they say over that time they've continued to monitor changes in electricity bills, and as a result, well, they've made adjustments.
We haven't seen much of a drop here, because I checked with BPL with the last payment, and it was much higher than we expected.
The bills are still, I feel, for 20 by 20 billion, $600 a month is really high.
The couple admits their business is seasonal, so cost-cutting adjustments remain a year-round balancing act, along with the hope of reducing their monthly bill even further. Miller adds, though, there's another hidden threat.
We have a lot of people who can't afford to be on electricity. What happens is that if you have your electric lines or wires running to air condition, what they will normally do is peel the positive and the negative, and they will jump your current onto their house.
Miller contends once the source of his previous bill hike was found, he committed to securing the premises with barbed wire.
In this area, you have to make constant check on your perimeter, your electricity, your wiring. It's best to have it in conduits.
Despite this, the couple says they've changed location to a newer building, along with other upgrades expected to increase their business energy consumption.
We didn't see much changes for years to the old building, and that was one of the reasons why, again, in building a new business, we sat and find strategies as to how we would keep the utilities at a minimum.
BPL has indicated that adjustments to rates began September 1st, particularly for customers with accounts in excess of 800 kilowatts, from 27.6 cents down to 25 cents, with additional decreases set for December 1st. Meantime, the Millers say they will continue on their journey toward energy efficiency. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, from January to August of this year, visitor arrivals have peaked some 6.6 million, according to Director General of Tourism, Latia Duncombe. Duncombe was speaking at various schools for World Tourism Day earlier this week, says tourism officials hope to reach its intended target.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
Since they were on sale, Monique couldn't resist things she didn't need, and neither did Bruno. Hungry for deals? You better come and satisfy that hunger for only $20 at KFC before doing something crazy. Get 8 pieces of juicy, fresh, in-store prepared KFC fried chicken and hot golden fries for only $20. A finger-licking good deal.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
September is an easy month to save when you shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15-ounce, $1.59. Robin Hood flour, 5.5 pounds, $4.99. Super Value protein gas, 8-ounce, $1.99. Danish spare ribs, $2.89 per pound. Turkey wings, $1.89 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
from the creators of I Am Ariel. And Jonathan's World presents another original production this National Heroes Month. From whence we came and beyond, on October 13th through the 15th, the history of the Bahamas comes to life. This 50th anniversary of independence, experience one of the most epic shows on a Broadway scale, live on stage like you've never seen it. 3 days only.
Progressive Liberal Party National Chairman, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, acknowledges that it is inappropriate for the governing party to be accepting any requests or expressions of interest for candidacy before the funeral of former Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting and West End, Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obie Wilchcombe, or before any formal processes in parliamentary law have begun. Mitchell made it clear that Minister Wilchcombe has served our nation and party well, and the focus will remain on honoring his contributions. Expect road closures and traffic diversions ahead of the opening of Parliament set for 10 a.m. next Wednesday, where officials expect between 2,000 and 2,500 people to attend. Those closures will take place as early as 7 p.m. on Monday, when Second Officer in charge of the Police Traffic Division, Superintendent Paul Cash, says traffic moving east along Bay Street will be diverted south along Parliament Street, but that diversion set to be in place until Tuesday as preparations continue for the much-anticipated event.
On Wednesday, the 4th, beginning at 6 a.m., traffic diversions will still be in effect for vehicular traffic traveling or attempting to travel east along Bay Street. In that instance, traffic will be diverted from Frederick Street from 6 a.m. until after the completion of the event. So motorists traveling in that direction will be diverted south. Some vehicular traffic will be allowed to traverse the Woods Rogers Wharf thoroughfare and re-enter Bay Street from East Street.
Now, there will be no parking along Bay Street and East Street between Frederick Street, East Street between Shirley Streets and Wood Rogers Walk, and East Hill Street West from Parliament Street from 11 Tuesday, while public parking will be available at the Old City Market parking lot on Mackey Street. Cash appealed to heavy-duty trucks to use alternative routes, sharing additional closures and diversions.
On Tuesday, the road will be closed for a dress rehearsal. So there'll be no access to Bay Street as of 4 p.m. on Tuesday, the 3rd. And again, we go back to Wednesday, where at 6 a.m. the roads will be closed. So Bay Street between Frederick Street and East Street will be closed. Charlotte Street between Shirley Street and Woods Rogers Wharf will be closed. Parliament Street between Woods Rogers Wharf and Shirley Street will be closed. Pine Lane will have no access, only for dignitaries. East Street will also be limited to traffic.
2 adult men and a male juvenile are in police custody after police seized a large amount of ammunition and nearly a dozen weapons early this morning after searching a home in the Sunset Park area. Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings gave an update on what she says is a significant find during a press conference at the Paul Farquharson Center today.
While searching, they found 10 ammunition. I know earlier in the press release it was 9. However, conducting a thorough search, it was actually 10 weapons that were located and over 700 rounds of ammunition. I can say to you that the Commissioner of Police will speak to you in depth regarding this particular find this morning as early as Monday. We're just allowing the officers to do their due diligence and investigations into the matter, but it is a significant arrest, over 700 rounds of ammunition, over 700 lives saved as a result of that find this morning.
An employee in the Department of Information and Technology at the Office of the Prime Minister is currently under investigation by police in connection with possession of firearms. A statement from the Office of the Prime Minister released today revealed this much to the media, and that the Royal Bahamas Police Force will provide further updates at an appropriate time. Traffic police working aggressively to bring law and order to our streets. They say hundreds of motorists are ticketed on a daily basis for every infraction you can think of. In this report, Carla Palmer shares what police are left to deal with while enforcing the law.
Motorists driving in the wrong direction. Drivers failing to keep left, drivers talking on cell phones or without seatbelts, and others with babies in their laps or underage children in the front seat of cars. The traffic violations against the rules and regulations of our laws are extensive and a serious challenge for traffic officials on a daily basis.
I just think we as a country, we prefer to obey other country laws than we obey our own laws. It's not for the lack of trying. We're out there, we're speaking to persons, we're going wherever we are allowed to go to speak to people and tell them the seriousness of this. Why it's not getting across, I don't know.
Although disgusted by what he sees as blatant violations, Chief Superintendent of Police in charge of the Traffic Division, David Lockhart, and his team are committed nonetheless to bringing law and order to our streets.
Yesterday, we issued in an 8-hour period 187 tickets in an 8-hour shift. At that shift, I had about 15 officers on the road. Of course, I'm sure if we had more and we were in more area, we would have ticketed more persons. That should tell you the amount of violators that are on the road. We have a lot of fraudulent driver's license, fraudulent license this, and then last week we found our first fraudulent license plate.
Lockhart feels strongly the violation of the law and the rules of the road has little to do with the lack of money or the inability to pay.
I don't know if it is that, because some of these persons are working. They just refuse to license their vehicle. And the persons who are committing fraud, it isn't that they didn't have the money, because they paid more to get the fraudulent document than what it is cost to do it legitimately. So persons just don't care. That's my take on it. They don't care.
While turning left is a privilege, motorists are being asked to be responsible. What is against the law, officials say, is motorists driving on the right side of the road, overtaking all of the other motorists to the left to make that left turn. That message is simple. Obey the traffic laws. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Thanks a lot, Carla. Well, Bahamian-born Miami Beach Police Chief Wayne Jones is marking 1 month on the job, and this historic appointment. Corval Pyfrom recently sat down with the newly appointed chief to find out his plans for the department.
Chief Wayne Jones is confident that his city is pretty safe. That doesn't mean, however, that at times there aren't issues.
Miami Beach police investigating a group of delinquent children causing chaos on Lincoln Road.
Homelessness, another issue the city must tackle.
When compared to a general or a broader community in Miami-Dade County, Miami proper, our home numbers are relatively low. With that said, though, we do have residents who believe that we can do a better job dealing with homelessness.
Chief Jones is now only 30 days into his new job as Miami Beach Police Chief. He's a veteran with nearly 3 decades up the ranks, and he understands quite well changing times. His historic appointment as the city's first ever black top cop in a city with a black population of less than 5%, in his own department, where the largest minority group is Hispanics, the chief hopes to increase employment and promotions for both women and racial minorities.
A number of years ago, I started a program where I raised our women police officers from 12% of our overall population to 18%. My goal is now 30%, and I've started laying the groundwork to achieve that. Not only 30% in terms of just hiring new police officers, but also 30% in terms of promoting those police officers, women police officers, into leadership, into senior management in the organization.
He's not turning a blind eye to the mental health needs of his department either. He wants his officers to know help is there if and when they need it.
There are specifically and specially trained police officers here that they can call to. They can call on, have conversations with them to help them navigate what they're going through with their feelings. And we believe that that's the right thing to do. It has been really, really successful, quite frankly. And bosses like me, I never know what type of conversations these officers are having with their peers in this peer support program. But I do know the conversations are happening, and I think it's making a positive difference in the way our police officers respond in their workplace.
Bahamian-born Jones has been with the Miami Beach PD for some 27 years. In recent years, he's had the opportunity to create initiatives that put him to work closely with authorities in nearby Turks and Caicos. He tells me that he's not only eager to, but looking forward to doing something similar with authorities right here. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corbell Pyfrom.
Thanks a lot, Corbell. Meantime, the government is set to continue consultations on the proposed cannabis legislation with stakeholders, which includes farmers, up to the opening of Parliament to ensure when the bill is tabled, it has received feedback from a cross-section of society. Former Minister of State for Legal Affairs and recently appointed Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the Honorable Jomo Campbell, says this is in recognition that the government does not have all the answers, adding that government needs the input of farmers because what works on one island but not necessarily work on another.
Anything new in the Bahamas, you know, we like and we love. And this industry is going to create a new window of opportunity and growth. As the chairman said, something is always growing in BAIC, and we always want to keep something growing in the Bahamas legally. And so, you know, it's definitely creating a buzz, but we want to get it right. In the midst of excitement, sometimes we can let our passion and emotion run away with us. And the legal personality in me always tends to lean towards the side of getting it right before we implement it, rather than having to fix and fix and fix after implementation.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, released the cannabis legislation in late August, a compendium of 11 bills that would legalize marijuana for medicinal and religious use, decriminalize under 30 grams of marijuana, expunge records for possession of under 30 grams, and legalize marijuana. Campbell says he is pleased that the government intends to bring this legislation.
The sort of minor infractions that go hand in hand with simple possession of dangerous drugs, sometimes, you know, they scar an individual for life. You have teenagers who make sometimes boyish, childish mistakes, and they have records attached to them that they can never get over. It prohibits them from traveling. It prohibits them from seeing the world. And that really, you know, tends to shrink the mindset of certain persons. So to see this opening up, it really affects the country on many different levels. And it will definitely go to impact in relieving some of the backlog in the courts as well.
Youngsters getting some crucial information on the use of drugs today as part of the National Drug Council's annual Hobbies Day exercise. Corbell Pyfrom shows us what they learned.
Are you ready, St. Francis St. Joseph? Are you ready, St. Francis St. Joseph? I'm talking about.
What do you understand about drugs?
Drugs are very bad. They can cause you go very crazy. It's bad to do drugs. It's not very good.
What are you learning about drugs?
That they are really bad for you, and they can cause you to get addicted.
Hobbies Fair is important because basically what we found out is when young people are not attached to a program, these young people have a higher chance of becoming involved in drugs and other destructive behaviors.
So with as many as 18 civic organizations present at the National Drug Council's Hobbies Day, the goal is quite simple. Let's find alternatives to drugs for these young people. That way we can ensure that they stay safe, they are productive, and remain drug-free. I couldn't help but notice that outside there, the kids seem very, very excited and enthusiastic about being here today.
Yes, they are, because it's an event for them to be out of the classroom for sure. That's the first thing. They are out of the classroom, and I'm hoping that with this event, they learn a bit more to keep them on the right track, and hoping that they really stay away from drugs.
Serena Hepburn, a 5th grade teacher at St. Francis St. Joseph Catholic School, likes that this year's Hobbies Day is focusing on primary school-age children.
As you know, they are introducing the new drug vape, and it's coded into different things such as highlighters and everyday things that children do use. So it's important for us to educate them that while it may be cool, it's detrimental to you in the long run.
So by the end of the day, the message that they want these children to leave here knowing is that you'll be disappointing yourselves, your parents, your teachers, and yes, our friend Ella as well, by not saying no to drugs. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Piper.
The Bahamas Crisis Center is hosting Night of Hope with the intent to bring some comfort to those who are depressed, scarred, and hopeless. Lloyd Allen joins us live from the J. Whitney building here on Collins Avenue with the latest. Good evening, Lloyd.
Well, of course, good evening, LaDawn, and good evening, Bahamas. Right now, we're here at the J. Whitney building where members of the Bahamas Crisis Center have teamed up for an initiative all centered on fighting sexual violence. And standing here with us is a volunteer with the Crisis Center, Dr. Khalid Philippe. Dr. Philippe, of course, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, and tell us about the importance of this initiative.
This initiative is super important because for myself, who I'm a survivor of sexual violence, we need to make it aware and the public aware of this, and to know that you're not alone. And tonight is a night where we will have reflection, and we'll also talk about recommendation for the vision of hope and healing for the Bahamas.
And obviously here tonight as well a number of women, but men as well, which speaks to the fact that this issue affects many persons.
Yes, it affects both men and women, and we have to come together to heal the nation, to reduce and eradicate sexual violence in the Bahamas.
Well, of course, LaDawn, more details coming up on this story in a later newscast, but reporting here from the J. Whitney building for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Marcellus Hall joins us live in studio with a check on what's happening in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for this evening, the Bahamas Basketball Federation beginning its coaching quest. We'll tell you the details on how they plan to get it done. That's ahead in sports.
Sometimes life hints at your next step, sending you signs all around, even in unexpected places, to lead you in the right direction. The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage and switch to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch your mortgage to Scotiabank. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. Paying less gives you more when you switch to Scotiabank.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
It's going to be an exciting youth month in October. That's according to the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bowleg, who maintains that our young leaders are not just leaders of tomorrow, but leaders of today.
Over the course of the next 31 days, we will shine a spotlight on the standard of excellence that the youth of our nation have displayed, whether it's excellence in sports, excellence in education, excellence in entrepreneurship, and the many other disciplines that we seek to recognize. As we celebrate this National Youth Month here in the Bahamas, I wish to advise the Commonwealth member countries in 2023 is also the year of youth.
A group of high school seniors was selected to participate in the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services educational program for about a year. Desmond Saunders reports.
It's a 12-month competitive program for aspiring industry professionals. The Bahamas Institute of Financial Services G12 program launched in 2008, giving high school seniors a fresh start and knowledge within the financial services industry. Some 20 high school seniors make up this year's cohort. Executive Director of the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services, Kim Bodie.
In the country, you have several cadet programs in tourism, cadet program in maritime, and other industries, and there was no cadet program in financial services. And so we thought, as the primary provider of financial services education, we would establish this type of program for young school seniors, preparing them for the financial services industry and the workforce.
From corporate finance to economics and digital banking, these 11th and 12th grade students getting a real-world education that will propel them to the future. For Sonara Grant and Jay Ferguson, the training represents a golden opportunity.
My accounts teacher recommended me for the program, and she was very passionate about me being here. And when she told me about it, I said, yes, I'd like to be here because I'd like to be an actuary. So the earlier I start gaining knowledge and information and that foundation for my career, the better for me.
My ultimate goal is to gain a superior level of knowledge in the study so I can possibly educate people about it, know what I'm talking about, because the Bahamian economy is something that I feel like a lot of Bahamians do not have knowledge about.
170 students have successfully graduated since the program's inception, and as it expands, the executive director pledges for more support.
We are appealing for funding because, like I said, the other cadet programs, they have a bus system where they pick up the children from school and take them to the various locations where they learn. We don't have that opportunity yet.
The program begins in October, and high school seniors with a strong desire to succeed now hoping to change the financial landscape. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
More than 100 women in attendance at the first ever Women's Empowerment Summit at the National Training Agency recently, and organizers are looking to make it a staple on our calendars each year. Jimonita Swain was there.
Women turning out in goodly numbers for the first Becoming Women's Empowerment Summit, a one-day forum focusing on building the mind, body, and soul. For Speaker Shirley Pinder, it was all about reminding women to strike a balance.
It means that, try to have a holistic view and approach of how you can have equilibrium in each of those sectors. It's not easy to do, and it'll never be perfect, but perfection belongs to God alone. So we're not looking for perfection. We just want people to try to remember to not leave themselves out of the equation. So as a parent, don't leave yourself undone. As a mate, don't leave yourself undone.
There was a panel discussion and a fashion show with models flaunting it. Level Up, the focus of Speaker Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell-Dean's address.
Also, sometimes leveling up requires work on the internal part of us, the things that we can't necessarily see. And so things like gratitude, showing yourself self-compassion and grace, letting go of control and guts.
Now, the funds raised from this first annual Becoming event are earmarked for a special cause.
As a matter of fact, these funds are actually being used to purchase breasts for cancer survivors who are purchasing prosthesis so that women who have lost their breasts can have the confidence again by wearing prosthesis, and not everyone is able to afford them.
For this attendee, Santosh Sargent, the event was worth it.
It was uplifting, and it was a space for us as women to be empowered, cliche, but to also listen to other people's story and to realize that we're not alone. A lot of times as women, we are so sheltered in terms of the way we feel and that kind of stuff, and we look for a place to expand or look for other women to network with, and it's hard to find that. So this gave us an opportunity to network.
Now, while participants were encouraged to overcome to become, officials say that this won't be the last of women's empowerment summits to come. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Juminita Swain.
Well, it's World Heart Day, and this year's campaign focuses on the essential steps of knowing our hearts first. The goal is to raise awareness on cardiovascular disease, its prevention, and the impact on its victims. Heart disease and stroke claim 17.9 million lives each year.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795 through 8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up for your right.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
United Faith Ministries International will host its National Children's Outreach Day, Saturday, September 30th, 12 to 5 p.m. Join us for interactive Sunday school, drama, dance, live entertainment, bouncing castle, water slides, game and prizes, food, and so much more. Guess what? It's absolutely free. We're saving our future leaders today. For more info, call us 341-0502, number 126 Fire Trail Road. See you there.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Well, welcome to ZNS Total Sports Check on a Friday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Basketball taking center stage for us off to start things off as the Bahamas Basketball Federation now gearing up to build its coaching staff. Let's see exactly how they plan to get that done.
Yes, actually, I think to date we have about 60 to 70. Yes, so we're in the process now of seeing who meets the criteria and sorting it out, and we may decide to go like the youth first, then the youth male, and then the senior women.
According to Horton, a number of the applicants have been from foreign coaches looking to be a part of the Bahamas Basketball Federation.
Europe, Canada, and United States. Yeah, and one of the things I had to, someone contacted me directly from Europe, and I told him, unfortunately, at this time, this isn't a paying job. So, you know, he was appreciative of that, and he's like, any way he can help, he'll assist. But, you know, for him to fly, relocate from Europe here, it's going to be expensive.
The president outlined the criteria in place for the prospective coaches.
Minimum of level for the senior women, minimum of level 1, preferably level 2 or equivalent. Because, you know, we have some folks in the United States who don't have the FIBA level program. We're going to do a background check. You have to have like 3 to 5 years coaching experience. And basically when we contact you, or when the committee contacts you, you basically have to just sell yourself. The deadline for submission is actually tomorrow, September 30th. And then we have been having meetings leading up to that to get everybody geared up and proceed.
Still with hoops tonight, game for the Government League Basketball Championships between the Baines and Grantstown Sideboards and the Police Crime Stoppers set to take place tonight at the AF Valley Gym. Cybots currently lead the best of 7, 2 games to 1, which makes tonight's contest pivotal for both squads.
We're going to come back on Friday night and try to take a 3-1 seriously. You know, it's basketball in the Bahamas. That's the way it goes. That's been some of the things we did wrong, and we can come back strong on Friday.
To make it a series and tie it a series up 2-2, we just got to continue digging deep. You know, we got to keep fighting. The first 2 games we lost, our energy level was very, 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 very low. We just got to suck it up, you know, sacrifice a good shot for a better shot, trust our teammates, and we get the dub.
And considered one of the fastest growing sports in the world. That being said, the 2nd annual Dragon Boat Festival set for Saturday and Sunday at Goodman's Bay. Charles Fisher tells us more.
34 boats have registered for this year, an increase from 21 last year. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, excited to see the growth, all a part of sports tourism here in the 242.
It is amazing to see the growth and progress that has been made in only 1 year. The amount of support and involvement you have been able to receive is commendable. This Dragon Boat Festival is more than just a competition. It is a celebration of unity, teamwork, and true testament to this government's commitment to revitalization of the world of sports. Sporting events like this helps to boost the economy and have great cultural and social benefits, all of which are extremely significant to our country.
President of the Bahamas Dragon Boat Association, Dr. Christian Chin, hoping for greater growth of the sport here in the Bahamas.
Right now, it's more a recreational sport, and we're hoping that with the Federation coming on board and just being formed, that we're able to take it to a different level and become more of a real competitive sport, because it is international. And as Franco said, they want it to be an Olympic sport. So it's a real, true sport, and not how we're treating it right now, like more recreational. So if we could push it to that level, then we will do much, much better. And you'll see much more tourists coming to participate. Because right now we have 4 teams coming, but, you know, in Panama where we went, there were over 90 teams for that festival.
Mary Gibson, she is the president of the International Breast Cancer Partners, also on the island for the event.
A lot of these survivors are in a certain age bracket. They have money and they travel. So if you market it right, absolutely 100%. I believe there will be big growth. And I mean, all the international teams last year were all breast cancer crews. I think this year it's not the same, but because they've just come off their season, so it's about timing. Get the timing right, you'll get the paddlers to come.
The prelims begin Saturday morning at 9 with the finals on Sunday, followed by a cultural show and awards presentation. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
From Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools softball play yesterday, defending senior girls champions Nassau Christian Academy, they had a rough day from the Circle versus St. Augustine's Cause. Giving up 13 runs in just 3 innings, they lose to SAC 13-1 via the mercy rule. The loss drops the Crusaders to 1-1. SAC opened their season at 1-0. After the game, we caught with the winning pitcher, Laryl Hanchel, and losing catcher, Serena Roll.
It was a hard challenge. I think that because we practiced, we really came out. We practiced all the time, and I think that really helped us to come out with the win today. My team performed very well today. Couldn't do it without them.
Well, it wasn't our best. It wasn't our 100%, because I know what our 100% was. It wasn't that. But, everyone has their, their nervous times and their anxious times. I told them to talk out the butterflies. We started that, and then everyone has their little days, and that was our day. But don't worry, we're coming back. If we meet them at championship, we'll blow them out, just how we did last year.
And that's your look at sports on this Friday. We do have that final look at the weather coming up. Stay with us.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
What's a Sand Dollar rebate? It's the digital Bahamian dollar back in your wallet. Top up any Sand Dollar enabled digital wallet and make a purchase of $50 or more in Sand Dollars at Super Value, Quality Supermarkets, Solomon's Fresh Market, or Sawyer's Fresh Market. Get up to $25 back when you redeem your rebate online between September 15th and October 15th at sanddollar.bs/rebate. Rules and restrictions apply.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
First we plan, then we innovate, then we build. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we are committed to quality, to safety, and to service. We know that the road you take is just as important as your final destination. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, it is our job to make sure the road and the ride are as smooth as possible. From striping roads to building them, we are the right choice, the trusted choice, the only choice to help you build your tomorrow.
In 1953, the United States began using a female name for storms. And by 1978, both male and female names were used to identify Northern Pacific storms. This was then adopted in 1979 for storms in the Atlantic Basin. The National Hurricane Center does not control the naming of tropical storms. Instead, there is a strict procedure established by the World Meteorological Organization for Atlantic hurricanes. There is a list of male and female names which are used on a 6-year rotation. The only time that there is a change is if the storm is so deadly or costly that the future use of its name on a different storm would be inappropriate. These are the names of storms for the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season: Arlene, Brett, Cindy, Dawn, Emily, Franklin, Gert, Harold, Idalia, Jose, Katia, Lee, Margot, Nigel, Ophelia, Philippe, Rena, Sean, Tammy, Vince, Whitney. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, food and rum cravings acting up? Well, it's that time of year in Barbados. Over 1,000 runners on the streets of Port of Spain. It's the newest road race challenge. The calming vibes of St. Kitts and Nevis. A Panas premiere. And ooh, chocolate. It's all next on this station.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal? At the check-in counter? At security checkpoints? Or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports in 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
Years ago, a new era began. 50 years of a small country doing big things. Our faith, our people, and our values are the source of our strength. Together we share joy and survive the hardest times by leaning on each other. Now, as we confront a changing world, we need to grow stronger. That means standing up for ourselves, protecting our borders, investing in our family islands, growing more of what we eat at home, owning more of our economy, and above all, investing in our people. Lifting each other up, that's who we have always been. We know where we came from, so we know where we are going. Happy Independence, Bahamas. May God bless us all.
One of the things that the church must be aware of, that this is no time and season for us to get so deep and holy that we can't hail folk who hurting next to us. We can't hail the people in our neighborhood. We can't see how hungry they are. We can't get too deep, brothers and sisters, and so anointed that we forget that if someone hurt you, you gotta forgive them.
Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low-fiber, high-fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
We apologize, but due to technical difficulties, there's no weather report this evening. And finally in news, if you're looking for some fun-filled activities for your children this weekend, maybe you would want to visit United Faith Ministries International on Fire Trail Road. Tomorrow, the church is launching its first annual National Children's Outreach Day on the church's grounds. Apostle Thalman Ferguson with more details about the family fun-filled event.
The purpose is to gather tomorrow's future, saving them right now. We recognize that there is indeed a crisis among our children today, and United Faith Ministries is seeking to make a difference by bringing these children from all walks of life here together, once again reintroducing the purpose of Sunday school in their lives, which is to bring about wholesomeness and to cause these children to be developed in the way that they should be for tomorrow's leadership.
Administrative Assistant Marissa Maycock says they have made preparations for as many as 1,000 children.
It's going to be amazing. There's an interactive Sunday school that's planned for them with drama and with singing and just with ministry for them, as well as once we are completed with ministry, we will be able to allow them to go around our amazing setup. There's so many things set up for them to do. We got the face painting, the bouncing castle. We have rides for our children. We have a toddler corner where the children ages 1 to 3 can be ministered to right in their own corner. We also have, there's going to be popcorn and cotton candy, and there's going to be snow cones and ice cream and hamburgers and hot dogs. There's many different stations that are set up for our children to interact with. We've got the hoopla table, and we've got the butterfly effect, and we've got the under the sea tents, and so there's so many activities for them to be involved in.
Well, a great initiative there. Well, that does it for the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great evening, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.